Hello, 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 and it has finally happened. It actually has finally happened. Arsenal, for a change, are moving like a big goddamn club. There is confirmation that Andrea Berta, yes, Andrea Berta is gonna be the next sporting director of Arsenal, and he has spent over a decade, 12 years at Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, man, under Simeone and everything. And let's be real, if you are under Simeone, it will definitely toughen you up. You will know how to say no. And this, in my opinion, means that Mikel Arteta is in a hot seat to many, many, many reasons. The news broke out yesterday, late during night, and I must say, it was actually kind of nuts when you come to think of it. I was asleep by then, but yeah, as you can tell, probably I'm feeling quite a bit under the weather. My voice is almost gone. I have not fever, temperature, nearly a fever, and everything. Not feeling too well, but I just had to get this out. I just had to get this out that Arsenal, actually, for a change, are moving like a big club, and it's looking fan-freaking-tastic. So smash the thumbs up if you're excited about Andrea Berta's point as sporting director of Arsenal. Comment your thoughts. What does that mean for Arsenal? What does that mean for summer transfer window? And what does that mean for Mikel Arteta? And all that good stuff. So like, comment, subscribe, all this good stuff. And let's get straight into it. Fabrizio Romano, during nighttime, together with David Ornstein, both confirmed that Arsenal are close to completing the appointment of Andrea Berta as the new sporting director to replace Edu. There are still formal details to sort with documents yet to be signed, but Berta is giving priority to Arsenal. More to follow next week, of course. Obviously, with March kicking off in the early March, late February, early March, we got news that Arsenal are aiming and will appoint a new sporting director by the end of March. First things first, what Fabrizio tweeted out at that time was Andrea Berta is on top of the list or near top of the list. He's in the final five together with Eto, Olabe, obviously Berta, Ashford, and someone else. And it looks like Andrea Berta has taken the hot seat, the leading spot, and it looks like it's about to happen, which is, as I said, it might actually put Mikel Arteta in a massive, massive hot seat. Let's be real, because first things first, they are talking about the fact that Berta is giving priority to Arsenal. Question is why? Because Arsenal have never moved like this. We usually have Edu, like Vinay, like people like that, and we have never had like a proper sporting director. Maybe late last one, David Dean, you would say. So that raised the big questions. Why is he giving the priority to Arsenal? Why? Because have Arsenal said something to him? Has Kroenke giving him some guarantees, money, power, something? I don't know. But the fact that he's coming here, I couldn't be more happier. Let's just put it that way. I genuinely couldn't be more happier. And I'm super excited about this. See what's happened. See how this is going to go. But as I said, Mikel Arteta is in a hot seat. Because as we all know, Mikel Arteta signed 15 million a year deal. And that basically gave him a quite insane amount of power at Arsenal. He basically has his hand in every single cookie jar in terms of Arsenal in the final decisions. And now, basically, by signing Andrea Berta, I would assume so. It means that some of that power will be taken away. And now it's the big question, how will Mikel Arteta react to that? Because Andrea Berta, if point stands to reason, let's be real, that if you work under Simeone, you know how to say no, you know how to give your own opinion, and you have a backbone to stand up to him. Because let's be real, Simeone to some extent is a bit of a madman, let's be real. So Mikel Arteta predominantly has had yes men around him. He hasn't had a guy who challenges him to, let's be real, to any extent. And Andrea Berta would be one of those guys who challenges Mikel Arteta to some extent, maximum extent. Let's just put it that way. Because he has his opinions, he has his ideas, he has his vision, and the question will be, will that vision align with Mikel Arteta's vision? How that will progress Arsenal in the future? And when I say Arteta will be on a hot seat, in my opinion, that means that Mikel Arteta has maximum a year at Arsenal. Because the way how it works, since we have USA owners, we need to look how the USA franchises work from this standpoint of view. And it basically means that they sign a proper sporting director, and then basically they give up on him to decide what's going to happen next. If manager doesn't perform, he has the ability to kind of suggest that he should go, and then decide who could actually be a proper manager, basically going future forwards to match the sporting director's ambition. And I think we could be in that spot where Mikel Arteta, if he doesn't perform, if he's not good enough, well, which to be honest, he's not already because he hasn't won anything in 5 years, could be gone sooner rather than later. Whether it's gonna be this summer, which could happen, but I think it's very unlikely. I think he will be given time during next season to some extent, or the whole season. Who knows? Let's be real. But I think he has a 1 year max, and then the penny could drop big time. And the biggest reasons why I'm very excited about Andrea Berta is because of his track record. Because if we look at these things, I'm gonna kind of minimize the window a bit, and I really hope you can see what's gonna happen here, because it will be a bit squished in, if that makes sense. I need to show you the values and everything, and it could be a tough read. Let's just put it that way. It generally could be a tough read for you lot, so I'm very sorry about that, but we're gonna roll with the flow. I'm very sorry if you cannot see this properly, but hey, it is what it is. I kind of cannot fix this to that extent. But let's be real. He last summer signed Julian Alvarez, 75 million, Conor Gallagher for 42 million, Lenormand for 34. Like proper signing. Sorloth for 32. I think Arsenal could have done with Sorloth this window as well. In meantime, he sold Joao Felix for 52 and everything. But the big thing about all of this is they spent 185 million. But the biggest thing is he racked back 93, so they just spent around 90 million. Only, minus 90 million. It's not like Arsenal when they spend 185 and they sell about 20 million, so they're 160 million in the dumps. And if you look more and more on his track record, right, there are windows when he spends 56 million and they sell 103 million, which is 10 times much better, which gives them 50 million back, which means the net spend actually goes up and it's not such detrimental to the club. Which means we can go again in the transfer window, this window, or the next window and spend much more. And he's a real go-getter. And as you can see, he can get big names over the line. We saw Griezmann, we've seen David Villa, we've seen, of course, we also saw Julian Alvarez and players like that. But one thing that excites me the most, to some extent, is that he knows how to sell players for more or less the same amount, or profit even, right? The players who should not have, based on Arsenal's point of view, should not be in any right selling for at least the same amount. But he knows how to make these low risk, low demand type of signings. Basically, for example, he signed Samu Omorodion, he is going now by Agehova, right? For 6 million from Granada, right? 6 million from Granada. He signed him last summer. It didn't work out, obviously, it didn't work out to maximum extent. So what he did, he's young, he's a prospect, he has future and everything. So it didn't work out. What he does next summer, it doesn't work out, he sells him. But they sold him for 15 million euros, which means they sold him for 2.5 times the value they purchased him for. And there are numerous ones where you can look at what Andrea Berta has done as a sporting director, business-wise specifically, and he signs a player for a smaller amount, high risk, high reward. No, low risk, high reward type of situation. And if it doesn't work out, he can basically sell him for the same amount of money. And this is for me one of the biggest things, because Mikel Arteta has said countless times, oh, we sign players everyone wants. Oh, we maximize every window. And let's be real, we haven't seen it, to be honest, to this day. Let's not kid ourselves. We haven't seen this to this day, because we maximize every window. Haven't seen that once. Kid you not, haven't seen that once under Mikel Arteta. We sign players everyone wants, right? When we try to sell them, nobody wants them. And that is also a big reason why I'm very excited about Andrea Berta. And that is a weird thing, because for a change, I'm very excited about summer window, about the future of the club, because we have signed actually arguably one of the best guys you can imagine to sign. And that is something phenomenal in terms of being an Arsenal fan at the moment. And what I wanted to say is this, that there is a very big difference between how Atletico Madrid does things and everything. And this is why I also believe Mikel Arteta is in a hot seat. Because, yes, Andrea Berta signs these low-risk, high-reward type of players and then sells them for profit for the same value, or even mediocre player signs for amount and then sells him for the same value or there or thereabouts without losing too much money. Now, and that happens after a year, after 2 years, and you wonder why. How is that even possible? Because we as Arsenal fans have seen player being signed, 35 million, 2 years pass, we sell him for 10. That's how Arsenal operate. They instantly take 25 million loss on the player. And there comes the manager aspect. Because there's a big difference of a manager just taking a player and ruining him, for the lack of better word, and between a manager in Simeone who signs him and keeps him at worst at the same value, same level, in a way that if you want to sell him, you actually don't take that big of a loss. You may even take profit on him. And that is a big reasoning why I think Andrea Berta is coming in, and I think that's why Mikel Arteta will be in a massive hot seat. Because obviously there are trophy matters, progress and everything, right? There's also managing and developing players. Because under Mikel Arteta, we actually haven't seen that. We haven't seen many players just explode, go from this level to this level. We haven't seen it that much. Because Saka's performances, yes, he gets GA better and better, but performances to some extent have dipped in big games. Most of the players have not improved under Mikel Arteta, especially the young ones as well. They have been basically accustomed to the Arteta system, and the fact how Mikel Arteta signs players to fit the system, not basically adjust the system to fit the players, is ruining the players. Which means that when we want to sell them, we can't. We generally can't. Plus, if you add the money we are putting them on, it is utter disgrace. And you can see Zinchenko, when we signed him at City, was on 30,000 a week. He signed for Arsenal, 150 a week. What is the justification to put him on 5 times bigger wages? What? Especially given the fact that we outgrew him, for example, in half a year? In 8-9 months? As a player, and he wasn't good enough already? It makes no sense whatsoever. Only pool Arsenal used to have was the money. And rightly so, one of the biggest clubs and everything, but that just shows how bad our talent ID and recruitment was. Now with Andrea Berta coming in, I genuinely believe there will be change in the tides. At least I hope so. Let's be real. I really hope so. This signing really has me very excited. This is one of those signings which I was begging in for years, because since Alexis, Aubameyang and Ozil, we haven't had a signing that basically makes us jump out of our seats, to makes us ecstatic, to say the least. And getting him in, Andrea Berta in this instance, has kind of done it to me. And that's why I'm looking in a very positive light for the future. Now, don't say I'm a top gunner in the comments, because I'm not. Let's be real. I still want Arteta out. I still believe he's in the hot seat. And I think he's gonna be gone either in summer or at some point during or after next season if he doesn't win anything. Because obviously he's not gonna get sacked after this season, most likely. I don't think so, at least. Because for me, I think Kroenke still trust him. They maybe will give him 1 year under Andrea Berta. In ideal world, I would sack him and get a proper manager in. Inzaghi, Ancelotti, someone bigger who has a winning pedigree, who can get the job done and who can get us over the line. Because I'm a very strong believer to the fact that Mikel Arteta has gotten us as far as he can, and we are regressing now as a club. It is what it is. I guess you may agree, you may disagree. It's up to you. It's your opinion, and I don't judge it, because everyone can have his opinion. Her own opinion, obviously. But this Andrea Berta signing has got me super excited. So let's see what he does in summer, how that affects Mikel Arteta, and how that affects our transfer policy. Because this guy is a shark. He knows how to get big players and how to go about it to get these players for proper money, and not maybe to very high wages. He knows how to do the business, how to negotiate, and how to do all this stuff. So there is hope. There is some light at the end of the tunnel in terms of Arsenal, and maybe for the future. Potentially. Time only will tell, of course. But there is some hope at this current stage. So let's be real. We're gonna get linked as well now with players we have never linked before. We already been linked with Lautaro Martinez, with Berta being linked with Arsenal, right? I would assume we will get linked with more some Serie A players, like proper ones. I've seen today we are linked again with some Bologna youngster. We're gonna talk about that at some point in the future, maybe after United game today, if there will be a stream, because as you can tell, my voice is going and everything, and I'm not feeling too great. Only time will tell, of course, in the evening. But yeah, maybe we'll get linked with some more Serie A players. But what gets me more excited is that with him, there is a possibility for us actually to attract big names, and that's what Arsenal is missing. X factor. Star quality players, big names, the things we got promised when we moved to Emirates almost 20 years ago. And that's why I'm kinda very excited. So let me know what you think down in comments below. As I said, like the video, subscribe if you're new around here. Take care, and hopefully see you after United game. Peace.